Hello, everyone. It's me, Andrew. I'm here in our home in lovely Ligonier, Pennsylvania. And I'm still working on the 100 series. I'm still trying to think of a name. Um, it'll come to me as I work. Um, I've been thinking about things. I've been listening to the Dresden Files. Um, It's the last one that I have queued up in the library, so I'm excited to finish it. Like I like it, but am I'm ready to listen to something else. I think have you ever done that where you've just been binge watch something, even if you like it, it gets a little bit where you're like, oh, it would be nice to listen to something else. Um, so I'm almost finished with that, and I probably will finish that sometime tonight while I'm working. I'm not going to push myself too crazy because I would like to be functional tomorrow, and I have a meeting tomorrow morning early. So I can't work until too late tonight. But I did want to stop and check in. If you don't know what this is about and you're like, what are you doing on so late? It's not live at 5. Well, so last week I was fortunate enough to take a wonderful class with Elizabeth Brim at the Center for Metal Arts, and it got me thinking that I wanted to take some more blacksmithing classes to keep my skills up and to kind of build that knowledge. And then I also was like, well, a class is good, but I need to practice more when there's not a class. So the goal is to raise enough to take the next class with Stephen Yesko. Um, and that's coming up in May. There's only one spot left, so I need to hustle and get these done and posted. And then I also want to get enough for a forge and some steel. So I have an anvil. I have a couple of hammers, but they're only okay, and I have tongs. Um, so I think that it's doable. You know, we've costed it out before, and it wasn't too much. So I think it's doable. Um, and yeah, so I'm excited for that. And whenever I try to do, I have plans for something like that, I always try to do a series of affordable, small scale, affordable artwork so that I can help generate extra funds to offset the expenses. So that's where this idea came from. And yeah, so I checked in earlier today and I showed how I collage and what I use as glue. And then the next part, I showed how to add one of the layers of paint using the gel press. And this time, this check-in, I'm not going to actually show anything like a how-to, but I will show you the progress. And I really haven't made too much progress because the gel press actually, I mean, it takes the time it takes, but it takes a while because you have to work pretty quickly, as you saw if you saw the last video, um, to get all the thing before it dries, get all the mark making done before it dries, and then go in and press it out. So I'm going to flip this around, and you'll be able to see some of the progress that I've made so far. Yeah, I hope you all are enjoying this. I know it's a little bit different. I really haven't had a chance. I was going to share some pictures of like my grandma, my mom quilting, um, but I've been working solid, so I really haven't had a chance to do that. So uh, so I haven't really had a chance to do that, but I think if I can get the ball rolling and work pretty late, I can get to kind of a good spot. And then tomorrow, I have an early morning meeting. I don't know how long that's going to take, but if I can get working tomorrow, I can kind of spread it out throughout the day and hopefully get some of these up maybe tomorrow night. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, let me flip this around and then you'll be able to see some of the progress that I've made so far. All right, you're going to see the ceiling for a second, maybe more than a second. All right, so here are some I was kind of thinking about having kind of a fabric-y kind of pattern, like a, what do they call that? Horehound fabric kind of, with those little cross hatchings. And so that's, I kind of like it because it's a lighter color on top of a metallic. So you can kind of see that hint of shine come through. So you've got a little bit of the color from the first part. These, I'm still, like I said, that these are still early days for these. So there's more layers to come. But for right now, I'm just building up some light on top of this darker and the color so that I can have a surface to kind of build up some other colors. So these are, it's a very pale light pink, and I really like that. It's not as stark as a white, which eventually I probably will do. But in these ones, I love these ones. The way that I made these is I made kind of a little star shape and just repeated that. And this is all the negative space that was left over. But as you can see, so in some of the points, it got some of the paint collected in the points and created that kind of dandelion fluff effect. And this one I kind of smashed a little bit, but that's all right. So, I mean, it's not terribly exciting. I think it's exciting, but, you know, I get it. It's kind of just like pattern on pattern on pattern. Now, this one was kind of a pain in the butt to do because I took and wiped away and wiped away and wiped away and wiped away. And it's like this little stipply kind of honeycomb pattern. And I think I can do that in a much easier fashion. And so, yeah, I finished up adding the second layer or the first layer of paint. And then these are the ones that I've gotten so far of the second layer. So first layer of paint, these are the ones with the second layers of paint. And then, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That's not too bad. All right. So that's what I've been up to. I'm going to take a break for dinner, and then it looks more impressive when they're kind of all mixed up. It looks like I've actually done some work and not just repeated the same thing over and over. But as you saw when I did the demo in the last section, I do 3 at once. So that's how come there's like this, there's 3 of those and three of these. So that's like 100 divided by 3. So I have to repeat this process 33 times. And so, I mean, that doesn't sound that long, but if each time takes, you know, between 10 and 15 minutes, then it kind of adds up. So, I mean, these are a lot of work. when you think about it, but I feel good about the progress.
Hello.
William's here.
What do you think of his progress, everybody?
There's not many people watching.
No.
There's like 4 people watching.
Well, then those 4.
What do y'all? Bonnie says, looking good there. Thanks.
I think these look great.
So far,
Mhm.
but
I love this metallic you're doing this time.
I love metallic fabrics, like the stitching.
Mhm.
I was just reading about how they would use gold or silver thread actually made of silver, but the silver would tarnish, and because of like the old timey silver, sometimes they'd mix lead in with it to make it a little bit softer and make it more pliable. But lead, when it darkens to black, and with the silver, it also darkens to almost black. So there's all this beautiful stuff that looks like it's got this really black, heavy, dark stitching when originally it was supposed to be like this luminous, bright silver.
Shiny.
So yeah. So eventually this metallic will be knocked down a little bit.
So eventually it will be dark.
Yeah. So don't get too excited.
Patina'd.
It won't. You don't get too happy about anything. I might give up.
Give up.
I'll be like, oh well, guess it wasn't meant to be. Maybe. We'll see. All right, I'm gonna go. We're going to eat dinner.
It's dinner time.
And then what time is it now? It's
9:18.
9:18. That wasn't a very good check-in. I guess it is. I kind of like it because they feel like cards. Like I'm gonna
20 minutes.
I'm gonna tell some future.
It's a third of your whole hour.
I'm like, this is all signs point towards
Someday,
classes and and then some signs point towards me going to the class, William.
Is that what it is? All signs
The foretelling.
There sure is a lot of that one in there.
Huh?
Sure is a lot of that one in there. Must be the one that says you're going.
Correct. Correct. They won't look like this, y'all. This is the layer. This is the way I work. So if you like to have an exercise in suffering
or futility,
not necessarily futility.
Try telling Andrew to change that.
Oh, to make me not do layers? Yeah. I'm sure there's an easier way.
Figure out what it's gonna be.
I'm sure there's an easier way to do this. Like there's got to be an easier way. But because I'm kind of a little bit of a pig-headed, stubborn person, I just work in the way that I work.
Researching. If you haven't found a different way that's better, then this is your way.
I don't know if there is such thing as a better way. I just think this is the way that I work. Yeah. So I work on building up layers and building up layers. And even if you don't see it, it's there. But just think, look.
You feel it.
But look also, it's not all weeble wobbly. Because remember earlier, y'all, when we looked at these, it was like squished up. It's kind of doing its thing where these do need to dry a little bit more. I can still feel like they're a little bit cool to the touch, which means they've got a little bit of moisture in them still yet. So these need to dry completely, and then we'll iron them out so that they're super flat, or as flat as they can be. And then I'll just keep making this pattern. So I think the next check-in I'm going to do is at midnight my time, because that'll give me about 3 hours to have dinner and to actually make some more progress. So we'll see. Maybe I'll have another 12 done. All right. Thanks everybody for hanging out and seeing this collection of all. I really like that. Maybe I'll do some more of this one.
Which one?
This one.
Yeah, The honeycomb like.
Yeah, I figured out an easier way of doing it because I was like, what the heck am I doing? It's supposed to be fun and easy. I guess it's not necessarily supposed to be fun or easy. It's supposed to be a rigorous challenge of the soul, a crucible of feeling. You can tell I'm getting a little bit slap happy. Huh? I need to eat. That's correct. All right, bye.